So if you've ever seen animation where the drawing seems to be wobbling around, that's called a line boil. It's where you take an otherwise static drawing and you just repeat it. So this guy right here, I'm gonna go over one frame and just simply trace the exact same drawing. And one reason people use this technique is it gives it a more sketchy look, and it also breathes life into it. It appears like the lines are breathing because they're not static. So it can help if you have a pose that you're holding for a while to have some kind of motion. And the closer you draw the next drawing to the original drawing, the less wobble there'll be. But the more change you introduce in the subsequent drawings, the more wobble there will be. So if you draw the lines too different, it might appear like it's jittering. So with this second drawing here, at 12 frames a second, we'll see how this looks. So that's what a boil looks like with two drawings. It looks like he's shivering. This could be good if your character is nervous or cold, but otherwise it's too jarring and jittery. So most wobbles have a third drawing. So I have my light box where I can see in between these drawings here. Just trace it a third time. And once there's three drawings, he'll look a lot more calm and relaxed. It's a pretty cool and simple effect. A lot of independent animators use it. And you can just loop the animation boil for as long as you need to. One of the hard things in animation is when you have a character that's perfectly still. After 3 or 4 seconds, it will just look like a drawing. It won't look like animation anymore unless you introduce some kind of motion, such as an eye blink, or if it's an impatient character, he could start tapping his toe, or loose parts of his clothing could blow in the wind, or the hair could blow in the wind a little bit. There's all sorts of creative ways to keep a static pose alive, and a line boil is just one of them. So we'll see how this looks with 3 drawings now. So now the static pose is alive. And if you wanted to make an even calmer boil, what you could do is come down here on the timeline and add a frame in between each drawing to where now it would be 5 drawings long for the wobble. And so I'll just go ahead and do that really quick to see how it would look with 5. Wobbles can be good for stuff like rain. If you have a raindrop falling down, you could draw 3 drawings of a raindrop and just loop it and use a camera tool to bring the rain down. Really, you can do a lot with loops in general, not just wobbles, but if you're a one-man studio, then finding economical ways to stretch out your drawings and make the most of them is really important. This wobble technique works best with more cartoony type drawings. If you're doing something that's really realistic, then it'll be a lot harder to maintain consistency between each drawing because there's too much visual information. So instead of a wobble, it might just look like a mess. But it's a really fun and easy technique to do. a lot of people make their backgrounds wobble as well. If it's a more simple art style, it might be cool to have all of the animation wobbling. Although just having the character wobble can help distinguish him or her from the environment. That's the great thing about animations, there's no one right way to do anything. It's a lot about self-expression and the style you're going for and what you're trying to communicate and how clearly you want the images to read, or maybe you want the audience to work a little more for let's see here. Okay, so this is what it looks like with 5. It kind of looks worse. Normally three drawings is the best for a wobble. So that's how you do a wobble.